to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson as the Dark Knight himself. Now, I like this movie. I love the story of this movie. I love the actors. Robert Pattinson is great in this movie. And yes, jokingly, I used to talk about how Edward is playing Batman, but I never took that seriously. Because I watched the first three Twilights. I never watched the Breaking Dawns, but I don't hate the Twilights as much as everyone else. But what I will say, as much as I love this film and I'm a big Batman fan, it's not a great film, because for me, it's 3 hours long, which I'm not used to. It is a long amount of time, but if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that my favorite movie of all time is Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame doesn't feel long because of the jokes and the action scenes, and I did like the action scenes in this movie, don't get me wrong. Like, the action scenes in this movie would suck me back into the movie. And with the relationship between Batman and Catwoman, it was different. It's probably in the top 3 of the best Batman and Catwoman relationships that we have seen on screen, right? Both in TV shows and in movies. Right behind the 1966 Batman and Catwoman relationship, because I actually do like their relationship. And I like how they these pair do have some sort of sexual tension. They actually do it in a way where it's like they are actually there's even an episode where Batman and Catwoman are in a restaurant and Catwoman's sipping Batman's drink. Like, you could tell that there's definitely a relationship. It's kind of like a girl that you would take out on a date, but you also have fights with her every now and then. It's kind of what that relationship's like to me. Because I think, not to go on ramble with how they treat in the 66 series, but I think I prefer the relationship in the series, especially the first 2 seasons, than the movie. Because the movie treats it very differently. Because not only is it played by Lady Merriweather, which Julie Newmar is the Catwoman in season 1 and 2, I think Julie Newmar, the way that the directors and the writers and her and both Julie Newmar and Adam West play it, is these people are there's definitely some sexual attention. But Lee Merriweather and Adam West treat it like Batman likes Miss Kicker, but he doesn't really like Catwoman. That is the way that they kind of play it in the movie. But yeah, it's just, that's my small complaint. But anyway, but also, my other favourite Batman-Catwoman relationship is the Batman Returns Batman-Catwoman relationship, because I'm a big fan of Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman and Michael Keaton as Batman. I'm a big fan of them as those characters, and those are some of the best versions of those characters that we've seen on screen. When you have that relationship, they don't really do much, they don't really talk much in the suits except for the end battle. But the Selena and Bruce relationship, they do play around with a lot. But the Batman and Catwoman relationship, they play around a lot with the 66 series. This one, not to spoil anything, but it's definitely more of a frenemy type of relationship, where they're friends, but they're also enemies at the same time. So, which they do play around with that in the both the 66 one and the Batman Returns one, but they play around with more she is not always angry at Batman. She is angry at what Batman is trying to do, and she doesn't really want to get involved, type of thing. But as the movie progresses, you go yeah, I need to help Batman as much as I can, type of thing. But, okay, here's something. The Riddler. I liked the vibe of the Riddler. I liked how it was a horror movie, but I'm not a big fan of the outfit. And this is coming from a guy who loves the Batman series from 1989 to 1997. Yes, I do stick up for Batman Robin, even though that's a very campy, silly movie. Because one of my favorite actors of all time is Jim Carrey. And his version of the Riddler is based on the original Frank Gorshin Riddler from the Adam West series. But I find the Riddler more as a silly character, not like a no. Yeah, I find him more as a silly character more than a serious character, because when you make him serious, it's like, well, it's meant to be goofy. Like, when you think about it, these are all goofy villains. Like, the Joker you could take seriously. Catwoman, depending on how she's done, you could take seriously, like in Batman Returns. This one's more of a like a frenemy relationship thing. But like things like the Riddler, and this is of course based on the movies, but also just the idea of the concept, right? But the Riddler, Mr. Freeze, those two in particular, which are both from the Schumacher era, those are more goofy villains that I see, alright? Especially when you have the 60 series and you have Batman Robin and Batman Forever. Those are more goofy villains than, yeah, you know what, let's make him like this Michael Myers kind of, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, horror movie character, so you can put him with your horror movie characters type of thing, you know? I just find it very strange. But anyway, but I will say this, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, I don't know any of these actors, like I don't know Paul Dano, I don't know Zoe Kravitz, I don't know Colin Farrell. I know Robert Pattinson, of course, because of Twilight, but I do want to watch things like Good Time and The Lighthouse and stuff like that, right? I think that the Penguin, nothing for me, like, is going to top Danny DeVito. Because Danny DeVito is so iconic in that role. But I think the Penguin in this movie is a very interesting way to do it. And obviously, his version is very, there's times when he plays it serious and times where he plays super cartoony. With Danny DeVito, plays it straight the entire movie. It's not necessarily a tone shift because it does suit that character in this universe, but yeah, I'm not going to go deep into too many of the characters, but I will say this. The Gordon character, I like the relationship between him and Gordon, but I haven't seen Jeffrey Wright in a lot of movies that I watch, right? So I didn't really know how to feel about his Gordon when I saw the trailers. I'm perfectly fine with having a different Gordon, but it needs to be done well. And this one was done well. I just think that the one, like the Dark Knight and the original 4 Batman films, Gordon, are definitely 1 and 2 for me. And this one might be number 3, I think. I'm rewatching the Burton films tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to jump into the Schumachers, and then I'm going to jump into the Nolans, and because I'm going to rank all these movies after I see the Batman for a second time, because I'm curious to how it ranks. But yeah, I'm curious about that. So yeah, I would definitely give this film, if you guys follow me on my Letterboxd, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, which is exactly what I give it, because the reason why it doesn't hit that 5 out of 5 for me is because of the runtime. I loved this movie. There was incredible action scenes. I loved the relationship between Bruce and Alfred. I love the relationship between Batman and Catwoman. I love the relationship between Batman and Gordon. All the relationships were great in this movie. And I really liked how they were done. But it was just the length. The length, because the relationships between all the characters were great. The action scenes were great. The story was great. The soundtrack was great. Michael Giacchino was stepping it up. With No Way Home in this, like, he has done, like, 2 of my most anticipated movies of the year. This was my number 3 most anticipated movies of this year. So I'm excited for what comes next, like in terms of Batman, right? Because you have Flash coming out with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, and maybe more Batman. I doubt that we're going to see George Clooney, but if we see George Clooney, I'm excited. And Val Kilmer, I want him to have a role. He doesn't have to be in the Batman suit, but I want him to have a cameo. And even bring back Christian Bale. I do like Christian Bale. I think he's good. There's just something about the other Bruce Wayne star. Can't go up and down between who I like more. But yeah, it's definitely a 4 out of 5 star film. So guys, please hit the like button down below if you haven't already. Hit subscribe. Also hit the little bell. I kind of get notified future videos I make. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.